Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 20 of the Nav.it Files. I'm Maya here with Erin. We're so happy to be back after a seemingly long MLK weekend. Hey, Erin, how's it going?
Hey Maya. Hi everyone.
So we are kind of shifting as we head into 2020, as we mentioned a couple episodes ago, around the different topics and trying to condense these a little bit. Recap this week with Real Talk, and we'll start it off today with what we're doing for ourselves. So, Erin, do you have a self-care to discuss this week?
Ooh, well, so I was inspired. I go through periodic, I know you're a foodie, but I go through periodic moments of inspiration around cooking. And I made chicken masala last night.
I love that. It's my
I
favorite.
was so proud of myself. I'm
I'm so
saying like
proud.
it helped and it was really good.
Did you make it in a traditional form, or did you use like an instant pot? What did you use?
Tradition. Oh, on this, no, yeah, just on the stove. Because I kind of didn't know how to do it. So I needed to work through that
It's
process.
surprisingly easy.
So easy. It's
Yeah.
so easy. I was like, this is gonna be my party trick now when I
No, yeah. Well, and if you ever got an instant pot, like when you're visiting us in Sun Valley, maybe I'll make it for you in that, because I'm
oh my god.
now an expert, I think, in our household with the
On
instant pot.
Instapots, yeah.
It's great. Yeah, because it cooks chicken in 6 minutes. Like, who doesn't
That
want
is
that?
like it's like still mind-boggling to me that that is edible and tastes
Yeah.
good.
No, it's delicious, and like you can't overcook it, and it's always like moist and not raw. It's great.
Yeah.
Mine is kind of macro this week. So we're meeting. We've hired a new graphic designer, which I'm really excited about, in
Yeah.
town. And she's a friend of mine, but she opened up a new office space and kind of a co-working space with somebody else that I know in the community who's doing her own event planning now. And it was, having moved here now almost a year ago, it's just fun to not like grow friendships, and I think that was kind of like, I took extra time post meeting with her out of the day to kind of brainstorm this community idea the three of us were kind of mulling over. And I think it's important to like make time to have conversations or like go down roads that you don't necessarily prioritize at the beginning of your week.
Yeah.
And back to my topics of guilt, don't feel guilty for spending an extra hour with some badass
Yeah.
women in your life who will only make it better, right?
Yes. Yes, and honoring the moment that you're in. That like there's something to be
Yeah,
gained. Yeah,
yeah,
that's really cool.
exactly. So my marketing play for the day is a fun one. Our digital director and I have been kind of playing around with our different ad spends over the past few weeks, especially as we're like coming back out of the slump rather of the holiday season. And considering, so basically what we've done, you get like a month free of this app or this platform called Tailwind that helps you better monitor Pinterest, and you can set up, you can basically organize your Pinterest life a little bit better for your brand. However, we're now off the trial period, and she's like, okay, well, what do you want to do with Pinterest? It's $40 a month. Um, and frankly, I'm like, we're not really in the position where we want to spend on such a niche platform for one platform that helps maybe with our brand awareness but doesn't really help convert leads necessarily.
Yeah.
However, Pinterest is crushing the ad game right now.
Oh, I just listened to a podcast of their CEO who I love,
Amazing.
and
Yeah,
he had some really interesting thoughts on advertising on
I
Pinterest.
bet you did. Actually, a good girlfriend of mine, total side note, is now working in their like alternative investment group. We have to get her on the show. She's a
Yeah.
total badass. Yeah. Anyway, so that was such a side note. Anyway, so my director and I, Emily and I, are talking about what to do next with Pinterest, and we kind of come upon the conclusion that we should just put the $40 a month into ad spend on Pinterest
Mm,
instead of branching out to say Google search, which frankly we have pretty strong SEO just organically right now, which is awesome. So there's no huge need for us to try and put ad and compete with like highly targeted keywords on Google, when we
yeah.
can basically do the same search ads on Pinterest, which we know are performing really well. So my point in making this is, in talking about this, is that Pinterest is kind of an up and comer for brands like ours with like very authentic user groups. And people that are on Pinterest. Like obviously this isn't going to catch like my father, who's probably never gone onto Pinterest in his life.
He's not our target demographic.
Yeah, he's not our target demographic. Love him so much. He's on our soft launch list, but still, I think that it's cool to see these like second tier platforms coming into like non-traditional marketing spend and paid spend avenues, and actually like making a difference for brands. So we can still track the same level of conversions. We can still like track CPA and all the rest of it just as effectively, which is really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Pinterest so much. Like it's so beautiful. It's also self-directed in a way. Like it's the DIY kind of, do it yourself, DIY.
Why?
But it's like a resource. It's like another internet or encyclopedia or something. It's just, and it's beautiful. And that's why
it feels more resourceful.
Yeah.
Like authentically resourceful, which is why I like it.
And beautiful.
Well, yes.
The Google search is not pretty.
You know what's not pretty? And I know your stepmom agrees with me.
What?
Your video camera. I'm going to back to all of our viewers.
Yeah, you can't.
Who wants Erin to get a new video camera?
Look, it's just so blurred.
It's just so awful.
You can't see if I'm tired.
I hate it so much. So.
I'm working on it.
I know you are. Got to make some money first.
Yeah. When we hit our revenue goals this year, I will buy a new camera, or a new computer.
Great. Okay. In the meantime, do you want to tell everybody a bit more about what you're working on in preparation of our 2.0 launch? This is kind of a trending theme until we launch in Feb.
Yes. So we should plug that. Like we are really on the like final throes of getting our 2.0, Nav.it 2.0 out in the market, which is amazing. We've been able to glean, and this is marketing / product. I do love so much building. We basically were able to hire a product manager and see like we kind of are starting to form departments that are like interwoven. It's like so exciting. It's not just 2 people and 3 people doing everything. So it's very exciting. So but the point is, one of our kind of key principles of Nav.it is mindfulness and growth mindset, and being aware of like how, we've talked about this a little bit with goal setting, and just being aware of your thoughts and how your thoughts manifest either abundance mindset or kind of scarcity mindset, or, fear, anxiety versus belief, overcoming happiness, growth. And so we have built into this product a daily money mindset check-in, like a log, which is so exciting. And there's a lot of behavioral science behind it, but it's often used in health apps, like health tracking apps, like period tracking apps, how you're feeling today, or, health, work,
active
fitness,
workout things that I do. Oh yeah.
Right.
So great.
Right. And I could digress to the female health, but I won't. But the point is, see, roll the eyes.
Yes, turned bright red.
Yes. But the point is, it's the same thing about so bringing money into a place that's not scary, but is kind of front of consciousness on a daily basis of like, how am I feeling about this today? And then once again, reframing if it's a negative, and figuring out, okay, what are the like baby steps? What am I feeling? First of all, the first step to self-awareness is being aware of what you're feeling. Right. So that's just a moment where you can check in, and then if it's negative, us giving you community, like showing you statistics, showing you tips and hacks that kind of speak to whatever is going on in your head, and also helping you reframe, and then showing you you're not alone, and giving you because the vast majority of people are probably feeling the same way you're feeling.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important. A lot of these, as I've done a lot of research on other apps, kind of daily money management apps in our space, a lot of these take on the more quantitative approach, which I'm not going to say is wrong, but in so doing, they kind of create they add to that anxiety that you have around your money. It's like, did you hit your goal today? Like, did you spend less than, you were supposed to?
Right.
Shit, if you didn't, what happened?
And,
It's like that's not what we want to try and build, because that's not realistic. Some days you're going to spend more and some days you're going to spend less.
totally. And in the aggregate, like our kind of philosophy is in the aggregate over month, that's like more interesting. And we have a financial advisor that we love that talks about this in the new blog article, actually. It's like month over month planning. Like
Right.
but daily, but you can, our point is like checking in on how you're feeling about it also is a predictor of how you feel, like what you manifest and what comes
Exactly.
into your life, right? So if it's always fear and worry, like and that's what you're focused on, there's going to be consistent abundance of that, as opposed to like, how can you shift that? How can you think positively, but also like think practically? And can we give you tips? Like you really are not alone. Like we're seeing, probably
Well, and
50.
I think that speaks into the emerging into a growth mindset as well. Like, how can you not only manifest more positive emotions towards your money and towards your financial like standing and goals, but then how can you also help encourage others who you interact with daily who might actually be, harming your growth mindset or your path? Like, how can you help change their narrative as well?
Right. There are actually, I love that you say that. There are statistics that show that if you have in your friend group at an early age, one person that is like proactive and excited about money and growing their money, you are more likely to have positive outcomes in the course of your lifetime. Not huge, but when there is a peer, and this is peer-to-peer education is like so part of the premise of Nav.it too. It's like when you have someone that you have social incentive to simulate or to discuss these things with, and you normalize the conversation and you see them doing it, you are more likely to kind of start some of these habits.
Well, and this is why I've always been so disheartened by most like middle school, high school programs that have zero focus on financial literacy and making these things fun. Like some maybe of like, really high-end IB or private institutions have some like economics or entrepreneurship course, but that's not really talking about like your personal finances.
No.
And I think that that's something that's so important to like be forced to discuss with your peers.
Right. Yeah. Actually, someone just told me, I don't know if this is true, but they just said this in this women's group event we did this morning, that you have learned all of your like true money beliefs by the age of like 8. Which I'm not sure is true, but I do think it's really interesting that, you are setting up key belief systems at a very young age. So it makes sense.
My father reminded me the other day that at the age of 9, I had like a cash register under my bed. And I was like hoarding money that he would give to me. I'd lie to him. I would be like, Dad, like I spent, the $5 you gave me. And I did this like for years.
Did he know? Did he not know?
No, I think I'm a pretty good liar. It's why I'm a marketer. And he was like, don't you remember
And then he found it?
He's like, don't you remember hoarding wads of cash in your younger years under your bed?
Oh my God. Then like at 10, you emerge with like $500.
Well, and my first job was actually at 9. Like I was paid under the table. So plug in for living in a small town, you can put your children to work earlier. But since I was like, I actually made, I don't know what it would have been like, $15 a day or something, but like all summer, like that's a lot of money,
a lot of money. 9.
Oh my God. 9, 10-year-old. So by the time I was like ready to go to boarding school, we were cleaning out my room and I had like a few $1,000s under my bed. So to your point, I think I don't like to spend my own money, and I'm pretty sure that's been well ingrained into my mind since my toddler years.
Those are habits that you have built over time. Yes, that is a growth mindset in a lot of ways. I'm impressed. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Back
to the point, it's just like having this daily money mindset and not freaking out when you've spent, a certain amount just in a day that you've had to spend for whatever reason. It's the same mindset of like, don't freak out in the stock market when one thing happens.
Totally.
Like, don't divest everything you have in one stock just
Right.
because they had a bad day or they had a bad week, or frankly, they even had a bad quarter.
And
Like,
you're less likely to freak out if you understand the way the system works. And that's kind
yeah,
of what we're saying. Like, if you understand the way money works, your income, just basic budgeting and savings, like when one thing happens and you have to spend an extra, couple $100 for fixing something,
right.
you're in control and you're aware of how the system works. The other thing that we're going to do with it though is show you over time, which I'm really excited about. So
Yeah.
you log this in, and then we're going to keep that data, and you can see that data over time. So you can see, oh yeah, around bill time 15th of the month or whatever, I get a little bit more stressed about this, and then I calm down, and you can just be more aware too of the trends that you're feeling over time, so that when it cycles back, because it's inevitable every month, it cycles through. You can be more aware of, like, oh, bills are coming this week, maybe I can shift, just be aware that they're coming.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to be worried about, because then, I get paid 2 days later and I'm okay again. So,
well, and also being able to like forecast, for instance, like, a moving bill that, you
right.
used a local, this happened to me recently, like we used a local mover and I knew they were going to mail me the bill, like this archaic system that because it's not immediate transaction anymore, you like forget that a month later you're going to be paying something that you're not expecting. Like you could go into the app and like forecast that out,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
That's
completely.
That's exciting too.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we've been working on that, how it all fits together.
I love it. You all will be able to tune into our first podcast around a growth mindset, hosted by Erin and I in the next week or so here, as we're finalizing that. And we've got some more exciting topics coming down the pipeline. End of the week, we will bring you Real Talk. So looking forward to diving into our Real Talk this week. Erin, thanks so much. And thanks to all of you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.